bet against one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time in Bill Belichick, and that scares the shit out of me, right? Because I feel like you can just never count out Bill Belichick, especially as an underdog, and this team has been an underdog several times this year. In theory, you're right. It's going to be cold. It's going to be crappy. And who does that favor? The Patriots. I was really actually frustrated to hear that McDermott had his players practicing inside. Like, no, you need to get them out there. You need to get them prepared for this cold weather. I do think, though, the Bills will be able to stop the run this time. And I think that is the key to beating the Patriots. We've seen 3 of the last 4 games. What has happened? New England has fallen flat on their face. Why? They peaked way too early. I said this team was going to win 9 games. They won 10. I lost money. That sucks. On to the postseason, though. This is not a team that I think is built for the postseason. We know how rookie quarterbacks fare, especially wild card weekend. They usually get bulldozed over. I think the Bills are going to come out. They're going to come out fast. And that means I also lean towards the over here. Bills, if they score on their first possession, are 8-0 this season, and I need them to get out there and I need them to score quickly, because what happened in that first meeting, if you remember, was the exact opposite. And then Bill Belichick went for 2 because it was so freaking windy. And that was about all she wrote. It was a terribly boring game. The second time around was a little bit better. I was on the Bills in that one. If you remember, the first one, I actually had the Pats in a teaser. So that worked out well for me. But I do like the Bills here. They are my best bet this weekend. I got them -4. They're now 4.5, pretty much across the board, and even at the Barstool Sportsbook. So I feel bad that I waited to tweet it out. If you watch some of our other shows, you know I already gave it out earlier in the week, but 4.5 is the current line. And I might be alone on an island here, but I guess I got to roll with it, right?
Look, you've fared yourself well all season long. And look, there's just, as I said, there's some games that just live in my gut, and I feel like the Patriots have been kind of knocking down there and saying, hello, don't forget about us. This is Bill Belichick. But hey, look, I said this was Nick Saban just a short couple of days ago, and look what happened to me. On to Eagles, Buccaneers. You have the Bucks. I took them -9, and they are now -8.5. At first, I just kind of wanted to throw this game out, but I started looking at some of the stronger QBs that the Eagles have faced, and that's Teddy Bridgewater. You have Donald. You have Fromm. You have Gilbert. You have who else you got?
How many of them would you actually consider strong QBs, or were you just trying to be nice?
That's what I'm strong QBs. Heineke, Simeon, and
Heineke's yeah.
That's what I said. So I wanted to give some of them their credit, and others I was kind of sliding them. Glad you caught that there. But I mean, look, respectfully, I am not shaking in my boots at any of those quarterbacks. None of those guys are really. I mean, Heineke, as I said, he scares me. He's a wild card. You don't know, but the Bucs should go out there and they should handle business. I've been betting this Bucs team a lot against the spread. It's fared well for me, besides like once. And I'm not going to stop now. So they're also in my my card. What is it? It's called sweep of card. Dave was pick 6.
Wild card sweep. Did you see his emo? He was so mad he didn't call it the pick 6.
It would have been so much. That's why it's been in my brain. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, lay the chalk eating weasel, nom, 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 and I'll take the Bucs -9. Well, 8.5 now at the Barstool Sportsbook.
Megan, any chance I get, I love to step in front of Tom Brady. I love to go against the Super Bowl champs the next year, right? The Chiefs fans know that. They hated me basically all of last season and most of this season because they were terrible against the spread. Tampa Bay has not been terrible against the spread. They were banged up on both sides of the ball, and they still went 9-8 against the spread this season. That's something to think about here, right? Tom Brady, while a couple of years ago before he went to Tampa, I told him he had a noodle arm. Well, apparently he heard that because he threw for 5,300 yards this year. The one time I did bet against him in Tampa was with the Saints, and that was because of the Saints defense. And, the fact that the Saints won that game as double-digit underdogs and kept Tom Brady from throwing a touchdown pass.
9-0, that score, right? 9-0.
It was such a snooze fest, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I'm at the game with Grandma. She's a Saints fan. I got the Saints sprinkled on the money line, and I was just an absolute savage. That being said, I am not stepping in front of Tampa Bay.
And this game isn't past his bedtime, so
it is not past Tom Brady's bedtime, and I'm glad you remember that. This is an early morning game, and I think that the NFL did that on purpose. They do not want to take Tom Brady out of his proverbial comfort zone, right? They know where he's good at. He's good at home. He's good during the day. Look, I would love to step in front of him, but what am I going to get from this Eagles team? We know that their defense is going to keep them in the game, right? In theory. We saw it the last time these two played. I had this +7, got the back door because they went for 2. I just don't like betting teams like that. I don't want, I told some guy this morning. I mentioned the empty netter. I said, imagine handicapping, begging for an empty netter with 1:30 left in the game. That's not what I want to have to do on any of my bets. I don't want to have to be like, please backdoor be open, or vice versa. Like, oh my God, please don't let me get railroaded by this backdoor. And I think that could happen here, but I think this is a total lay it or don't play it situation. Still 8.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook. If you got a teaser leg to put it with, that is the only Wong teaser. That's my only problem and why I'm not putting out a teaser. But Bucks, an excellent teaser situation here. I don't see them losing this game, and I don't see that this game. I don't see them winning by anything less than a field goal.
All right, let's roll. Do you have them in your wild card sweep?
I do.
All right, let's roll. Up next, we have the Niners at the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites at home. And guess what? I took the Cowboys. I took them -3, -120. I can definitely see this being a 3-point game, which scares me a little bit. We know that Jimmy G's thumb, I don't know whether it's good or bad. We even know that if it is bad, Trey Lance isn't a terrible drop-off. But this Cowboys team, I feel like they want a playoff win. I feel like they're hungry for it. I feel like they have hit stride here. And look, there's been I forget what game it was, but it was obviously a weekend. I think a Sunday game, and then we came back on Monday, and I said the Cowboys look like they want to win the Super Bowl, and obviously that feeling hasn't gone away. Like, that's just not something that just goes away, right? And I really think that the Cowboys do have the talent to do so and to make a run, and that's going to start here. I like the Cowboys to win at home, and I took them -3.
Yeah, 3.5 now at the Barstool Sportsbook tells me all I need to know. Megan, I'm going to get a lot of flack because I can already see my Twitter mentions that I put the Cowboys in here. When I did the show on Wednesday that I always do, I said, look, I considered the Niners to be my best bet. I took them last week. And then I went back and I looked at that game a little bit more. I got very lucky in that second half. Jimmy G is a liability. And that is my concern here against this Cowboys defense. What have I said all year about this Cowboys team? I think they're a little overrated, but you know what's not overrated? Their defense. Dan Quinn has done such an excellent job with his defense year one that they're already interviewing to be another head coach. I would try very hard to keep him in Dallas because he's done a very good job with this defense, and maybe he's just not meant to be a head coach. That being said, I do have my concerns about this Cowboys team and the amount of love that they're going to get in the marketplace, right? I do think the 49ers are going to be a square dog by the time it comes to kick, but they were a square dog last week, so I'm going to throw that whole narrative out the window. The Cowboys have got to stop the run. Deebo Samuel is a fucking force to reckon with. I know he was hurt on my fantasy team most of the year, and I would have won my fantasy championship had that not happened. He is a huge liability here. They've got to be able to stop Deebo. I don't think I'm going to get to the window with this game whatsoever, but I do lean towards the Cowboys here because I do think that Jimmy G's is a wild card. What if he throws 2 interceptions again right there? Those 2 possessions, they're going to get the Cowboys a cover and the win here. Dallas has been a great ATS team all year long. I've stepped in front of them a couple times. I just didn't have the heart to do it again.
So in your wild card sweep, are we adding the Cowboys?
I did.
All right, let's go. As do I. All right, next game with a lot of chalk. You got the Steelers and the Chiefs. Chiefs are laying 12.5, and guess what? I'm playing the Chiefs. I've been playing them with these big spreads the last couple of weeks, and it's fared well in my favor. The Steelers, it's a fairy tale that they're even in this situation. I have no idea how they're going to be able to get themselves together to play this game. I mean, how many last games is Big Ben going to have? You know what I'm saying? Like the last, like this is, it just seems like one of those games where it's like they've made it, and this is like kind of like a, oh man, how much longer are we going to be around? And maybe I'm wrong by saying that. And obviously motivation is a huge factor, but I feel like the Chiefs have to be able to go out there and know this team that they're playing that shouldn't even be in this spot. And I feel like they should go out there and handle them just decisively, which is why I took them minus the 12.5. And I know I'm paying a little bit of a premium on them, and that's okay. But what do you think, Kel?
Oh, I hate this game, Megan. You think I wanted to take Pittsburgh? No, absolutely not. But when you're doing these parlays, right, you got to kind of mix things up, and you got to kind of guess what's going to happen. And one of the interesting things that I heard this week was a Big Ben interview, and he's like, we're like 20-point underdogs. Ben, you're 12.5-point underdogs. Can you just keep it respectable within 2 touchdowns? You'll be fine. That being said, I have some very strong concerns with the Steelers team on the road. If this game was in Pittsburgh, I would be all over the Steelers. The line would be 3 points less, maybe even more. I just don't see this team winning. Roethlisberger cannot, if the Steelers want to cover this game, let alone win, he can't turn the ball over. He just can't. This is a Kansas City Chiefs defense that has been like this all season long. I bag on them. They play great. I praise them. They play like dog shit.
Yep.
Big Ben still needs to absolutely target Sorensen. If he does, he is going to be able to burn him so bad on at least 1 or 2 occasions throughout the afternoon and should be able to keep this one respectable. The AFC West champions, by the way, have advanced to the Super Bowl the past 2 years. I think that that's something that the Chiefs, it's going to be a big circle, aka a target on their back. You're going to get the best game from the Steelers here, where maybe the Chiefs, they already played this team, they whacked the shit out of them, and then what? Do they really care to be here? Pittsburgh is an absolute and utter liability. I hate it. Do not bet this game. I'm not betting this game. Kind of lean the under. Not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it off.
I like the under there too. I haven't put it out, but I did play the under in that Kansas City game as well. It just seems like one of those games where it could be, I don't know, like 28-3 or something along those lines. All right. Last game on the board, you have Cardinals at the Rams. Rams are laying 4. And I'm going to go ahead and say I am on the Arizona Cardinals plus the 4. Why? They play better on the road. If we're going to be honest, they're kind of lucky they didn't get home field. They get to go and they get to play the Rams, which the Rams don't really have a huge fan base cheering them on. I feel like it almost will be split, Cardinals fans and Rams fans. So I wouldn't bank on it being too much of a big home crowd for the Rams, but maybe I'm wrong. But I like them plus the 4 here. I feel like this game is just going to get closer and closer every time they play. I like the 4. Maybe they even pull off a win. I know that the Rams have geared up and done what they've needed to do to be in this position, and they've collected players that they've needed to make this run. But Arizona could be a good spoiler, and I'm playing them here. What do you think, Kel?
I can't believe that the only 2 bets I'm playing this weekend are favorites on Wildcard Weekend. That's notoriously known for underdog upsets. I feel like really dirty. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm on the Rams. And the reason why I'm on the Rams has probably nothing to do with what you just said. You're absolutely right. This is a great Cardinals team, especially on the road, right? This is Kyler Murray, his time to shine. But he drives me crazy at times. He needs to be able to hold on to the ball, and that is my concern against this Rams defense. There's a reason why this Rams team owns the Cardinals. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here giving the Rams a Lombardi. I bet against them last week. I bet against them 2 weeks ago. Matthew Stafford is not fully healthy and hasn't been. But everything I keep hearing is back spasms are under control, not to mention that rock-solid defense, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Von Miller. We know that they also have a couple playmakers. Fine, I'll say Odell Beckham Jr., even though I didn't think he made that big of a splash because you have Cooper Kupp. Hello, Cooper Kupp might be a nice honorable mention for MVP. He's not going to win it, but he should definitely get a lot of praise. I think
Out
this is
there
a
killing
great,
the game.
great football team, right? And I know that the Rams can play at a very high level. I just feel like we just kind of saw them coasting the last few weeks, right? And I don't really know why, but now that we're into the playoffs, I think we see this Rams team from the first couple of weeks that everybody was expecting to see. This was my pick to win the NFC West, and they got it done. So I like the Rams here. I cannot, again, believe that I'm betting two favorites on Wild Card Weekend where I'm notoriously betting the dogs, and the math just worked out. I made the Rams a 6-point favorite. I made the Bills a 6-point favorite. I even made the Cowboys a 4.5-point favorite in this one. And I haven't got to the window, and everybody's already asking me on Twitter why I flipped the script there because they thought I would be on the Niners. And I'll let you guys know. I'll add it to my card maybe. We'll see how things go. But at the 3.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook, I feel like I'm late to the party there. So got to jump on the Rams because I think this is going to go in one direction. That's Rams 4.5, just like the Bills did.
Well, obviously we are on a couple of different plays this week, but look, we gotta do what we gotta do for our wild card sweep. I'm taking a big chance, putting them all out there. I mean, there's only 6 games. Why not? Might as well decrease my bankroll size just a little bit, play a little bit on each one, have some action all weekend long, and maybe figure out who's going to actually win the Super Bowl because my eyes are going to be on every single game. But that's it. That's
except for Steelers, Kansas City. I'm not watching. I refuse.
Yeah,
it's going to be ugly.
I'll be on the red zone. Red zone will just show me the Kansas City Chiefs like 47. That's what pisses. I feel like red zone needs to. Sorry, Scott Hansen. But I feel like whenever a team's up by like 47, like they should just be kicked off the red zone. Like I don't need to see every red zone play when Kansas City.
Why? Then you don't get to see your boys, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, just absolutely throttling teams, and that's all was on red zone that day. I'm like, they're showing repeats. Nope, another touchdown by the Bengals.
I know their tricks by now too, especially when you go to see like a punt, and you're like, okay, why are you showing me a punt? This is not good. Don't do this. Okay, that's all for the weekend. Kelly and I will be back Monday to recap what's happened over the craziness of what is the playoffs wildcard weekend. Kel, is there anything? Oh, we have the merch. Don't forget, go buy merch if you like us. Buy the merch.
If we've made you some money, let's not look at my terrible basketball record over the last 48 hours. Let's talk about football season. If Megan and I have made you some money, if you've done a good job tailing. Oh, and I have a PSA just because this guy was tweeting me yesterday that he lost money because of me this football season. And I said, that's literally impossible. What I need you to do is not cherry pick the losers. I go, so some words of advice. If you're going to tail, or even if you're going to fade, let's say I put out 3 more college basketball tomorrow and you're like, screw her, I'm going to fade her, she sucks. You bet all, you bet none. You cannot cherry pick because if you do, it's going to be a problem. And that's just the bottom line.
Or if you cherry pick, don't come and talk shit.
Don't be mad at me that you picked the loser.
Just like that's whatever. Whenever I say do your own research, take your own advice, like go and do your own thing. But like if I put out 6 games, there's only 6 games. So go, and if you only like 2 of those, just put 2 of those.
How many? Okay, Megan, of your 6 games, how many are you actually betting?
I'm betting all 6.
You are going to bet all 6?
Yes, I'm going to bet all 6. Yeah.
I love it. But see, that's the whole point. That's money shots. Megan's taking all the shots with her money.
Exactly.
I'm betting 2.
I'm doing it responsibly. I'm not doing my usual unit size on NFL. I would not do that if I was just putting it all out there. But I'm decreasing it, and we're going to play a little bit this weekend. And, like I'm at the casino. Just like I went and cashed in $100 chip, got a couple more $20.
Spread it out on the roulette table, bunch of numbers. Okay.
Exactly. You get where I'm going here, responsibly, of course. Is there anything else we need to talk about and or plug?
I think that's it. Merch, parlay. Good luck this weekend, guys.
I hope if you win,
a bloodbath.
Yeah, and we would love to see your parlays put together. So maybe put those together and at Money Shots. We would love to see those. We'll maybe even have Jack retweet them on the page.
Yeah.
All right. Until Monday, I hope y'all all have a winning weekend. So best of luck, and we love you guys.